Michael, you are now host.
Thank you. Hello, Sherry.
Hello.
You can please make me a co-host.
Okay, sure. Oops, no, that's the wrong one. Let James, I'm making you co-host. There we are. You are now co-host, James. Okay. Welcome back, Sherry, with your beautiful flowers behind you.
I know, I think nice. I like this.
Yeah, absolutely great. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I put my notes on my phone, though I didn't know where they were.
Okay.
My handwriting is so terrible, so.
So is mine. It always has been. I don't think I just had the knack from primary school days. Yeah. So yeah, I always say I've got the handwriting of a doctor. Yeah.
Mine is awful. I left-handed, and back when I went to school, they tried to force you to write right-handed.
Yeah.
And all my time was spent hiding my left-hand writing so that I could be more comfortable. I wasn't a very cooperative child. So I'm still left-handed, and I think in that process, my handwriting just never developed well. So
yeah, it wouldn't, and it was such a wrong thing to do in those days, to get people to change from left hand to right hand. I had it in our class as well. Fortunately, I was always right-handed, but yeah.
Well, I homeschooled my kids, and the oldest went to public school for about 4 years, and she came out of school, and but she was right-handed. She learned how to write in school, which is good because I was left-handed. And then I had another child, and I was like, I told my oldest daughter, I said, if she is right-handed, you're going to have to teach her how to write. I can't do it. And if she was born left-handed, we were fortunate.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. Yeah. My oldest daughter homeschooled her child, and as well, right the way through to where she is now.
Finished all the way?
Say again?
All the way through?
Well, no, she's only now 10 years old, I think.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, I did. My oldest had trouble in school. She was a social butterfly.
No.
And we saw it, and she wasn't doing well. So we decided to pull her out of school. And plus, at that time, the schools were doing a lot of graded inflation to make themselves look better.
Right.
So I got laid off from a job in advertising, and I then noticed that she wasn't up to where she should be. So we decided to homeschool.
Right.
And we were going to do it for 1 year. 1 year became 17 years between the two kids.
Right. I sent my first empire of children to the Waldorf school. Okay, and so that was interesting, that whole concept, and then I changed my mind with my second empire of children. So anyway, Sue, we've got Sue. Welcome, Sue. Sorry, you've been listening to it. Hi, Sue. So what brings you to this class?
I don't know. I am looking to learn, I guess, new things.
Okay. Well, you're welcome. Okay.
I just discovered this website, so I'm navigating through the classes, see what's available, how it's.
Okay. Okay, that's great. No, that's great. It's a series of 5 classes, Sue. So this is the 5th of the 5 classes, and so if you'll see it probably the same time next week, or maybe an hour later, if you want to start in class 1 as well. So please, you're really welcome, and I'd like to see you there. Okay, and Henrietta, hello. Hey. I can't, your microphone's off, Henrietta. There we go.
Hello.
There. Hello, I can hear you now, Henrietta. Yes. So, what brings you to this class?
I just saw it and I thought it would be an interesting class. So I felt I should listen to it and then know what I can gain from it.
Okay, okay. Right. Okay. All right. And Carolyn, welcome back again.
Hello, hello. I'm looking at Sherry's picture and she has a fur friend with her.
Yes. I wonder if she's just been in my wife's class talking about pets.
Was, but he wasn't. This
Okay.
is Jack. He's got a gum disease.
Okay.
And he's up here trying to convince me not to give him antibiotics tonight.
Okay.
Oh, I have a buster that came to me about 6 or 7 years ago, and he has stomatitis.
That's it.
And yeah, and we extracted the teeth at a big whopper of a vet bill.
Yeah,
and-
$3,000 to $5,000 is what
Yep,
they quoted
and
me.
it didn't do it. I took
Nope.
him to another vet for a second opinion. He says, well, it works in about 80%. Unfortunately, he's the other 20.
Yeah, they say that it's not only the gums, it can be also the bone above the gums that's causing the problem, and you can't take his whole jaw off.
Yeah.
So
I give him shots once a month for a while, a steroid shot that kind of
Right.
keeps the inflammation down, and then he goes for a while. So,
yeah, that's what we do.
so Michael, we're on animals, so you're going to have to get up to speed.
You're right. But I just listen to my wife because she does a class for Get Set Up on
There
bring
you
your
go.
and, yeah, I just follow my wife's whenever it comes to animals. You know, I love them, pet them, but she looks after them. Carmen, welcome back. Okay.
Hi.
Hi, nice to see you back here. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Okay. All right. Well, welcome to all of you. And just to let you know that James, the TA, is here, and he always adds great value, maybe to even help you technically with microphones and videos and things like that. But also he puts a lot of things in the chat page that you can take away with you as well. And that comes in very handy. So James, welcome to our class and thanks for your contributions. Doesn't sound like he's very talkative, does it? All right. Today's class, let me just start and share my screen. Right. And okay. Can you see the screen, the slide? Just nod your head or say yes or okay. Right. Thanks, Carmen. That's great. Okay. So today is a culmination of the 4 previous days, the 4 previous classes that we have been through. And for the sake of the newcomers, in fact, let me first introduce myself because some of you I have never seen before. So my name, as you see on the screen, is Michael Plumstead, and I live in Perth, Western Australia. And my time is just nearly 10 minutes past 9 a.m. in the morning of the 21st, Friday the 21st. Okay, so I'm well ahead of you. So yes, I'm a researcher, author, writer, business owner, love business, and do all the things. Had a really colorful life, and I intend to have another colorful 30 years with Get Set Up and researching and coming forward with various bits and pieces that might interest seniors. And because all of us, when we get to about my age, which is over 70, you've got another good 30 years left, and there's so much you can do in those 30 years. So I'm really looking forward to taking Get Set Up and coming up with other ideas.
Hello there. Am I in the right room?
Peter, what room are you looking for?
Oh yeah, that's what I thought the room was. It's you're Michael Plumstead.
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, this seems like the right room then.
That's great. Welcome, Peter. And if you feel like putting your video on, then
Okay.
that would be great. That would be
I'm
great.
not sure how. I have an iPad, and I'm not sure how to
You-
set that up.
Okay. We've got somebody in the class that can help you. James, can you help Peter with his iPad?
Maybe what we could do is talk, and if we could figure out maybe a way that we could get this to work, because I was trying the other day with my grandkids, and they said that they couldn't see me.
Okay.
Michael,
Yes.
I'm in an iPad, and what you do is touch the screen, and on top
Okay.
the different options come. Just touch the screen and look for the options on top.
Where on the screen do I touch?
Anywhere. Just touch his face.
Is it possible that I'm just touching the wrong part of the screen?
Could be, but I touched it and I see.
I'm wondering if that's part of the problem, is that I don't know the right part of the screen to touch, because I was trying to talk to my grandkids the other day, and when I tried to talk to them on here, I couldn't get it to work right. And I was going and I was trying to talk to them the other day because they're far away, and we tried to talk and it wasn't working for me.
Yeah,
Okay.
Peter, just touch anywhere. And if it doesn't work, give yourself time to figure it out.
Okay, I'll try to figure it out then. Well, you guys can continue. I'm sorry for, I didn't mean to interrupt or anything.
Oh, it's okay, Bon. We just want to see you too.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Okay.
Okay. It's important to see you, and it'd be great if but you can still participate through your microphone. So
Right.
try it. I don't have an iPad, so it's difficult. So Carmen had just said, bang the screen once, and options should come up for the video. Is
I
that
think
right?
that's the problem. I think that's the problem, is I banged the screen a few too many times because I dropped it in the lobby. I went over to the lobby to see Gertrude, and I accidentally dropped it a couple times.
Okay.
I would say it's okay because it took me a while to figure it out too. So don't worry, and you'll figure it out eventually.
Well, I'm glad I'm not the only bag of bones in here that can't figure this kind of stuff out, because
I
sometimes
might-
my kids like to make fun of me.
Michael, he might want to take the intro class after he figures out his machine enough to get on.
Yes, that's true.
Well, it's an iPad. It's not a like an old Mac that they used to have, like an Apple II. It's actually an iPad, the kind that you can carry around with you.
The
Okay.
iPads are different.
Hmm.
Okay.
All right. But welcome to the class, Peter, and
You.
stop trying, just sit back and relax. And as I was telling everybody before you came in, this is the 5th of 5 classes. And we do them one a day, starting on a Sunday evening for you, a Monday morning for me. And and we move through really finding one's purpose in life. In fact, let me just sort of bring you up to date. Let's just cover what we have covered, just picking up from the past. So class 1 was about discovering your idea and renewed purpose in life. Because as we retire and put all the past behind us, and our children are growing up and our grandchildren are arriving and also growing up, we have a new stage in our life, a new phase in our life, which I find very exciting, because now we can do what we want to do and what we love doing, and we're going to do that for the next 30 years. And so that was what the first class was about. We looked through that. We created 7 steps or 7 stages that you go through and find your purpose. So that would be always a good place to start if you're not sure what you're going to do.
I'm on a call right now. I don't want it right now. I'm on a call. I said I am on a call.
Okay. Let's just okay, there we are. Okay, Peter, you can carry on talking now. I've just muted you because there was background noise. That was all. All right, so the first class is discover your class, your purpose, discover your idea. And then the second class, the following day, was taking that idea to the next stage. And each of us, that stage is different, but it's really getting started. And so we started by verbalizing what our purpose was that we discovered from the previous day. And then we discussed how to actually communicate that to people. Then we looked at various channels of communication to now take that forward to the world, and whether we were going to do some advertising in the process or just do it alone. So that was part of class 2. And because we don't give notes, I suggested that everybody ask for a copy of the recording of the class, so that you can go back weeks and weeks time and go back and pick up certain things, because this is generally new to everybody, and particularly the approach that we take as seniors. Our approach is going to be very different to what we did when we had a career. Anyway, so at the end of class 2, we moved on to class 3, and that was now developing channels of communication. And we looked at 8 different platforms, and although there are many more, but it was just to sort of give an idea that there is a platform, then there are models that we can adopt as we move forward. So the idea was to find a channel. This is part of the how of getting, and one can change the how, as you've heard me say so many times. So you find over the coming years the different hows, and try experimenting with them. Then we also looked at our style of communication, and to be authentic to who we are, okay, and not to what other people think we should be when we move in this way. Sorry, Carmen, you raised your hand. Yes.
I was wondering if you could expand on the model fund platforms.
Sorry, what about the platform? Sorry.
If you could expand on that concept.
Yeah.
Tell us more, because I don't remember that.
Okay. You will find, if you next week as well, if you go to the third class, I show you slides and show you examples. But the platforms are where let's say the producer, let's say that's you're producing something, a service or a product, or you just want to move forward for the love of it. Let's say you love fashion and you just want to share fashion, you want to move forward. Your purpose is going to be to design and not sell it, and so it doesn't matter. You are the producer. Okay, so as a producer, then there are people who are going to buy into what you are doing. They might buy a product, sure, but they might also just buy into, as we said at the beginning of this class, when Sherry was talking about animals and had her cat there, she has a passion for cats, for animals, and so she would be then looking for something that is appropriate for her as a platform. If she were, I mean, I know she's not, all right, but if she were promoting that concept as her purpose. So there's a buyer and there's a seller in broad terms, and the platform brings them together. So if you use an example, a global, very large example, if you are going to offer your house as accommodation for holidaymakers, let's say, and that's your purpose, that's what you want to do now for the rest of your life, you could then get a platform like B&B, okay? And then now B&B would find the people, okay, and bring them to you, okay? And so it's like an intermediary, and they would charge a commission, and you would then have, so that is a platform. A teacher teaching, let's say, extra lessons or a language of some description might then go to a platform like Udemy. Now, the Udemy is one of the best for teachers to go to, where you want to teach things and have slides and things like that. So you would go to Udemy, they would find people to come and look at what you're offering. Okay, so that is the primary idea of a platform. Carmen, does that answer your question? Okay. Any other questions at this stage? Because this is a discussion class, all right? This is not a teaching class.
When you're talking about B&B, is that like an Airbnb?
Yes, an Airbnb, typical example, yeah.
Because I have an Airbnb, I sometimes rent it out. I had an extra property, and my kids helped me kind of set it up on the site, and now I can rent it out for people.
Plenty.
That is fantastic. Now that is in our terms of our classes, that is a platform. So Airbnb is a platform that they talk to the seller and the buyer. They talk to the person who has the accommodation and people that want the accommodation. Okay, and there are lots of different types of examples and platforms. You take Netflix. They are also a platform, but in a different way. Okay, they invite you. They put content on. Okay, and you pay an annual fee or a monthly fee, and you can watch as many videos as you want to. Now that is another type of platform. Okay, it's called subscription. So that subscription is a platform. It's a business model, and so. But we go through in great detail in our third lesson. So anyway, I was summarizing what we've done. So in the third lesson, that is what we do. We look at channels. We look at how to communicate and where to start to gain followers as we move forward, because we're going to be working from home, and we're going to be leading the pack on our purpose in life. And we suggested that we start with Instagram, but that wasn't essential. That was going to be the platform incorporating the business model that we've decided to move forward with, and the idea was to get followers. Okay. Then the class yesterday, the fourth class in the series, was about you get to a stage, and it might be 6 months down the line, it might be longer than that. It might even be that you can't get started. Okay, you lack the motivation. And so we spoke about maintaining momentum yesterday. And we spoke about, if you're losing momentum or not getting going, it could be the business model and platform that you are using, and you can change that. Okay, you will never change your purpose. You'll never change your idea that you started with in class 1, and because that's why you're doing it. You're fulfilling the why. But so we looked at yesterday at success stories of people older than most of us, and the oldest one being 99, still going strong, still following her passion and loving every minute of, and the purpose is not to make money, but by default she didn't set out to make money. She makes money. Okay, and so were the others that we looked at, and they all started by chance. Okay, just following this sort of pattern. So we also, I'm sharing with you through these classes what people have done our age and have just moved forward without any intent of making money. Okay, because that must not be your intention. And so that brings us now to where we are today, discussing our ideas. And so, yeah, let's now stop there and let's just talk about.
Excuse me.
Sure.
Excuse me.
Yes, Henrietta.
Hello. Yes. Haven't started today, and you've already done 4 classes. Is it possible to get a recording of what you did in the past so that we can see if we can follow up with, because coming at the end of this team, I don't know that we might gain as much as would have been expected from us.
Okay. That is a question that you would probably have to ask at help@getsetup.io, because they do recordings, but the recordings, as far as I know, I'm a guide in Australia, and the company is in North America. The idea is that you would then just attend next week's classes and interact so that they become personal to you. And you can ask those questions that are important to you during that class to get clarity. So the interaction of these classes is very important. And so the idea is join us on Sunday evening. Where are you from, Henrietta?
I'm in New York,
Okay.
in the Bronx.
Okay, then Sunday evening. Okay, as I said, it'll be Monday morning for me, but it'll be Sunday evening for you. And then
what time is it on Sunday
What
evening?
time?
It's this time, the same time as this class started. Okay, whatever that is in New York, same time. Okay, and if they they reschedule for us in Australia like every weekend, so you might have to just type in my name and see if it's still the same time next week. I don't know at this point whether it's the same time next week, but it's likely to be. Okay, but it might be an hour later. So please just type in my name in the search and you will see all 5 classes there.
Are you on Google? If I Google you will show up on Google?
Sorry, Peter. What about Google?
Will you show up on Google if I Google your name?
Yeah, I will show up on Google because of my history. Okay, but not because of Get Set Up. You've got to go to the Get Set Up website and then search for me there if you want to see my classes. But if you Google me on Google, you will see my website and all other things that are not relevant to this. Okay.
Would Bing work better to make sure that I get the right results?
The search engines are a whole different ball game, Peter, and you know, without a doubt, Google and Google Chrome and YouTube, all owned by Google, are the best search engines by far.
Okay.
But then one tends to use Bing or Firefox or others as part of the search process. But
I heard on Fox News that Google wasn't the right one I should be using.
yeah, don't worry
They said
about
that they put the liberals at the top, and then they keep everybody else on the bottom of it.
that. You know, Peter, we do Get Set Up does classes on Google and on the others, the technical classes. That's where you need to be. You need to look at those technical classes because those questions will be answered very well.
Okay, I'll try to look for those.
Yeah, look for those. Thanks, Peter. Carol, you've got your hand up.
Yes, I was just going to tell Henrietta, no, they have some strict rules. You have to be attending a class for at least 40 minutes before you can request a recording. So that doesn't work for you catching up. You'll have to do what Michael said.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I had already accepted doing it. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing that. That's super, Carolyn. Thank you. Okay. Now let's just talk. I'm particularly, you know, at Sherry and Carmen and Carolyn that have been in the previous classes. What are you doing at the moment as far as trying to get followers or thinking about which social media are you looking at Instagram? What results are you achieving? Just tell me where you're at the moment in the process.
Well, I'm not there.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay, Carolyn, now you can go ahead.
Oh, okay. I'm not, my purpose and whatever is not really hooking up with Instagram and all those things. I'm just wanting to get to that fulfilled purpose again, like I had when I was teaching. And so that may take me to travel and do volunteer work there or whatever, but I'm not really focused on the media stuff right now.
Okay, thanks for sharing that. So are you prepared to share what your idea is for a purpose as you move forward now in your senior years?
Probably combining travel with volunteerism and taking the skills that are just second nature as a teacher, teaching reading and doing things like that. And then combining that with maybe being an expat for a few years in Mexico. Got to research that. I'm doing the travel classes now and seeing what's up with that.
Okay, and your teaching, would you do that online or would that be physically face-to-face as you travel?
No, I think it would be physically face-to-face, looking at some of the poorer neighborhoods and whatever, and using my abilities to connect and to, I taught Title I reading for 15 years. And so I learned a lot of ways to connect with kids that weren't successful and making them be successful with my techniques that I used.
Fantastic. So you've developed your own techniques over the years. And
maneuvered them around. And I took an elementary reading program and tweaked it to be able to sell it to my high school kids who came in the door and said, "How do we get out of here?" I said, "The opposite way you got in." But they learned, and I got 2 to 4 years growth in 1 year average, because you had to keep records with Title I kids. And so it was like, my gosh. And then they would send the Hispanic kids to me because they learned to speak English and read at the same time. Okay. And it was just a really rewarding time.
Right. So Carolyn, tell me why you want to do this. Okay.
Because it feeds my spirit.
Okay.
Because their success is my success.
Okay. Would it give you a reason to jump out of bed in the morning if you were doing this like full time and you were in Mexico and you were teaching kids? Would you be so excited to get up in the morning and go and do it?
Well, my cat gets me up in the morning now. And before that was the Jack Russell Terrier. But yes, I've always had a natural connection with kids, and I taught high school, but the little ones are fine too. And so, yeah, that it fuels your memories, and the memories fuel you to keep going.
Right. It's a feeling, eh? Is it a
Yeah.
feeling? Yeah.
And it was a fabulous match for my personality and my living situation with my students. And so they were my kids. And since I was single, I poured all of my stuff into them.
Right.
And I was their parent too.
Right. That is so exciting. And it's fantastic that you've now got your purpose, you've got your reason for doing it. It makes you feel good, and you're going out there helping society. Okay, and that's an important thing. In our age, we need to get out there and help unselfishly. That whatever.
I am fortunate enough. My pension pays me plenty. My house is paid for, my cars are paid for, I have no worries. So I could pick up and go without any concerns that way to hold me back.
Right. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Carolyn, for sharing that. I really would like to hear from you in time to come, next year maybe, and see how things are going. Okay. So, please don't forget me.
All right. Well, I may show up in Australia. You never know.
That's right. Okay. That'd be super. Remember, it's Western Australia, not Eastern Australia.
Okay. Well, I wound up 2 years in Kenya as a dorm mom and teaching missionary kids. And so I have gone places where I said, oh my God, what did I get myself into now?
Right. Okay. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that. Sorry, Peter, you had your hand up and were very patient. You wanted to say something?
Yeah. Are you saying I can make money on Instagram?
Yeah. That's not the purpose of the program.
Yes. Well, my daughter, actually, she's got a big following on Instagram. I think she's got 600,000 followers on Instagram, and she's got an OnlyFans too. And if I could just use some of her following to show my Boggle posts on Instagram, maybe promote me, maybe I can make some of that money too.
You know, Peter, it's interesting. With your daughter with 600,000 followers on Instagram, she is definitely qualifies as an influencer. And that's a word that we spoke about during our classes previously. And you are fortunate to have a daughter that is an influencer. So whatever you want to make money with.
I think, to be honest,
sorry, say again?
To be honest, the only reason she's an influencer is because the girls. She was born with very large breasts, and I think that because of that, a lot of men are probably on her page.
Don't assume things, Peter. You mustn't assume things. Okay. But
TMI. Too much information.
Too much information. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Peter, thanks. You can put your hand down now. That's great. Thanks for sharing. So, Sherry, what about you? Where are you in and where are you at the moment? And remind the people in the class perhaps what your purpose is.
I like to do a lot of advocacy work. I got into it with Denby House. It's a community-based project. and for people with brain injury, they give you skills and, you know, occupational type things and jobs to do and all that. And one part of it is being making aware, and because a lot of people are not educated with different awareness issues, whether it's cerebral palsy, brain injury, breast cancer, all this. So I wanted to start making awareness jewelry. And the reason is because most people with severe disabilities aren't on the job market. They may get an SSI check, SSDI, and it's very limited because of the work time they've put in. So I wanted to make jewelry that they could afford, but make it pretty, because you will look at it, the stuff that I make for, it might charge like $10 for it. They're charging $35 and $40 for. And I want to make it so they can afford it. And I want to make it all individual, because each person has their own story. They have their own likes. And before I stopped doing it for a while because I got busy with some other things. And plus I just, you know, didn't feel good about it. And, but I wanted to do it. And I was promoting it on Twitter. I had the stuff in an Etsy account, and it was doing okay. I mean, it wasn't knocking the doors down, but at least I was meeting more people with different type of disabilities, and they were promoting it, and that was helping.
Right.
So that's my goal. And right now I'm working on like snowflakes with ribbon charm on it, more for the gift line, because most of my stuff people usually buy to give family members, friends that have an injury or whatever, so that they will feel good. You know, it's and like I said, I try to make everything different. I haven't made any two pieces alike.
Fantastic. And Sherry, why do you do it?
Because, you know, the people I've met, they want to get the message out, but they don't want to just walk around with some little rubber plastic band around their wrist because that's all they can afford. You know, you're seeing the awareness stuff, and you know, I want to give them something that they can feel like everyone else, because if they're not making the money, but other people outside of them are buying the very expensive stuff, and they can't do it, and make it, and also give them some individuality. Everybody has the little bracelet, but this gives them something different from anyone else.
Okay.
And you know, so it's just part of my advocacy. I do advocacy with at Denby House. We talk to senators and delegates. We give presentations like budget committee. During the COVID mess, we've given virtual tours of our facility to introduce it to people and to try to get more funding, and also people that are going to come to the house, so that, you know, like if they talk to me, they have like, they might recognize me. I take them through the house virtually, and then my caseworker will work with their caseworker to get them into the house. And it's not a residential facility. It's just 9 to 3 o'clock or 9:30 to 3 o'clock.
Okay. That sounds so interesting. Would you mind putting your Twitter name or account on the chat page? When
I look it up.
Okay.
As soon as I get some more stuff in, I will. I'll breeze into one of your classes and put it in.
Okay.
But it's called Heart of a Gypsy.
Called what, sorry?
Heart of a Gypsy.
Heart of a Gypsy. Okay.
Yes. I'm not too sure how it's written. There's several of us on there with a name. You know how it is. But I don't think I have a few pieces in there right now, but I'm hoping in the next 2 months to get maybe about 14 or 15 more pieces in.
Okay. And do you find that using Twitter better than perhaps some of the other platforms that you've looked at?
That is the only one I've used. So
Right.
I'm gonna investigate with Instagram, see what people are on there, because I know with Twitter, there's a lot of, well, there was, I don't know if there is now, a lot of people that were associated with like BIAA, which is Brain Injury Association of America, and see, if they're all still there, if they've moved. Because
Right.
Twitter, I think, was
Instagram,
just big. while
Instagram's a
back.
good platform. You can get a lot of influence off of it. And speaking of influence, apparently a lot of people don't really know what their real bra size is. So if you get a professional fitting, my daughter got one and then she was way happier as a result. And her Instagram has more followers now.
Okay. Thanks, Peter. All right.
That's okay. I understand. I have a daughter that's a stripper, so I mean, all that homeschooling.
Sherry, are you
Yes.
feeling supported by some of the organizations that you're working with, and they're encouraging you in doing?
No, I don't
this?
work with anybody like that yet. I mean, I don't even think Denby House really knows what I do.
Maybe they
outside of-
need to. Maybe they
Well,
need.
eventually, but like most of the people there are just, they haven't worked in a while. They're struggling to get jobs. It's really,
Yeah.
People with disabilities, I think it's like 25% of them will never even ever hold a job. And right now there's jobs out there, but they're service oriented. A lot of them physically can't
Yeah.
do the heavy stuff.
But I was thinking more of the organizer, top-down
Oh.
people
Oh
that
yeah, but
should
eventually.
be supporting you, and you should be working together to get that message out.
Eventually, I've
Okay.
got to build some inventory and
Yeah,
Because
that's
No,
like Michael was talking about with putting all your, your blogs and your posts, and have a backlog of them ready to roll.
like 20 of them, I think.
Yeah,
But that'll take a while.
I understand.
But
Yeah.
yeah, no. And I know I would get a lot of support. They're really, it's a really good organization, and
Okay.
I hope nobody else runs into them like I have, because 1 in 6 Americans will have a brain injury
Oh my,
of some type.
yeah,
It's a high number, and it's kind of a, like a little club.
yeah.
Yeah. And Sherry, why do people get brain injuries? That's a very high number that you're talking about.
Well, Stroke, an ABI is an acquired brain injury, which is all kinds of brain injury, but it's mainly, we refer to an ABI as internal medical, drug overdoses, things like that. Number one contributor is stroke. TBI, which is traumatic brain injury outside. Mine was from a tractor trailer truck. He blew a stop sign at 5 o'clock before 5 o'clock in the morning, and then let me lay in the car before he called the rescue people, because he didn't, I guess because he didn't have any lights on the trailer, and he wanted to wait till after sunrise. The main number one cause is falling. And in our age group, so if you have anything in your house that could possibly be a trip hazard, you don't have anything in the bathroom to hold when you get out of the shower, get it, because it is the number one contributor of injury to the brain, and not everybody lives through it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, well, thanks for sharing that. From my research as well, the as you get older, the nerves need certain foods, certain nutrients, okay? Because your brain's going to be the one that's going to be starved of those as well. And so the nerve has a coating around it, okay? And that coating starts deteriorating. And so you need to keep up with the type of nutrients that lanolin around the nerve is coated with. And so that's also really, it can be very, very helpful if people are aware of that. And yeah.
That's why I eat eight bananas a day, because it gets me the right nutrients and potassium. You can't get that in a pill.
Are you a nutritionist, Peter?
Yeah, because you can't buy the pills with the potassium. They don't have quite enough in them, but you can get a lot of potassium from banana. Plantains have a good amount too. And that's probably why when my daughter was born, she was born so healthy, because I ate so many bananas.
Fair enough. Okay. I do a class on microgreens, and you may see the nutrition in microgreens is unbelievable. Okay. Absolutely unbelievable. But anyway, Sherry, thanks very much for sharing that. And you're really onto something is going to help the whole world. It's going to help. You're really contributing now to something that is so beneficial. Okay. And it's so unselfish.
Not selfish. It's just important. It's important to me because I got misdiagnosed. And I didn't get the help I needed, and it's shown up in me. Like when people had PTSD, they said it was psychological, right? Military started doing a lot of research, and they're now finding that PTSD is actually a physical injury that gives you a psychological response. It's actually from the physical injury.
Right.
So and that's just in a short time. Recently, they are discovering this. So even doctors don't keep up. That's yeah. So we do a lot to in the community to teach, and we do a lot to talk to doctors, school kids about wearing helmets and wearing their seatbelts, and just common sense things.
Fantastic. Okay. Well, thanks very much, Sherry, for sharing that. I really appreciate it. And I'm sure the whole class does too. Okay. Yeah. Carmen, what about you? Where you're at?
Okay. I have one question before I tell you. You said that there was a platform for teachers.
Yeah.
Oh, Demi, can you spell that in the chat so I can write it well?
Sure, I'll do that now. Okay.
Please.
Okay.
The reason I chose this class is because I have a project. I'm a retired teacher of the blind. Okay. I was sure I had it spelled wrong. So, thank you. And I live in Puerto Rico, and we speak Spanish here. So, in terms of resources, we use English books from the United States. And if you know anything about the whatever territories, colonies, however you want to call it, it's the islands don't have as many resources as the mainland. So I wanted to write something that address our island in respect to teaching people who are blind. And so and in hearing the stages that you're presenting, I find that my process in terms of writing is similar. although it's a very small area of teaching, the teaching and learning for people who are blind, within it, there's specific areas of specialization. For instance, I used to teach people how to walk with a cane, and that has the curriculum. And then there's people who teach how to do daily living stuff. So that's another area. And my idea, although I do volunteering once a week, and what else do I do? I do something else that I don't recall now. I just didn't feel that that is my creative energy enough. Because in the volunteering, I go and do what's needed, it's not creating anything. And, after you get settled, you go there and do your stuff, but no, besides interacting with the people that are in your area, there's no too much going on. I go do my stuff and I self-motivate. But I feel that this is necessary. It will contribute to future teachers. And what I'm trying to work is in what you were talking about, the motivation to do it every day so that I can finish my part within a year. And I found that there's a need for communication too, because you have to convince other people who are specialists to spend the time on a project that it takes a lot of energy and time, and I've been able to get one person out of 3. So I still have much work to do besides the work that I have to do on my area itself. So I feel very enthusiastic, but I need to find the space to sit down and write.
Okay.
That's what I want. Did you get it?
Yeah. But I want to ask you why. Why do you do this?
Why? Because I feel that there's a need for it. Like I used to teach future teachers, like I was in teacher training, and resources were scattered, and we ended up using resources from other places that are not reflective of what we are. So it's as if in Australia you were taught with a book from England, which is a different reality, and the resources might be different. I don't know enough of both places, but so I feel motivated, and the last book that was written in here was about 15 to 20 years ago. So that gives me a motivation. Money, I don't think it's a motivation here, because there's not enough people studying to be teacher for blind.
God, up already.
Students,
Jesus.
to cover even the cost of what it's going to be the end product.
Right. Right. Carmen, that's great. Thanks for sharing it. I really appreciate it, and I look forward. In the future, pop into these fifth classes, and like give me an update, and I speak to Sherry as well about that as well. Come back and just let us know how things are moving forward, and so it's really great. For you too, Sherry, I'd really like to know how you're moving forward, and
Hopefully, hopefully it will be.
Sorry, I got disconnected.
Sorry, I missed that comment. Okay, I think.
Sorry that I got disconnected.
Oh yeah, that's fine. Okay, no, that's fine because we're at the end of the class now, and those that have followed me through from a few classes ago, it's great to hear where you're at now. I really appreciate it, and I really want to stay connected with you. So somehow keep connected to me. Let me know when find me. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. Okay, I'm on Pinterest. So, if you're on any of those, you can sort of make contact and let me know how things are going.
Carmen, where are you at?
Puerto Rico, which is in the Caribbean.
In Puerto Rico?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
land of
infrastructure's been really torn up down there too.
Okay. I think it's time. It's on the hour, and unless somebody else has anything particular.
Sorry, I'm getting a very poor signal.
Yeah, I know you faded out there. Okay.
Yeah, you did. And Sherry, you're on mute. Yeah.
I'd really like to know how your project's going, Carmen. It sounds so interesting and so beneficial.
Yeah, both of you.
Yeah, I think so. That's what keeps me going. But I need to move forward now, so that I'm using this class to make me do things.
Yeah, me too.
Right. Okay. All right. Thank you very, very, very much for contributing. And really, I hope and I wish you all well as you move forward with your purposes in life now. And I know that because it comes from your heart, it's just going to work and it's going to fulfill you. Okay, it will. So anyway, bye for now. And
can I add you on OnlyFans? What's your OnlyFans handle?
Sorry, Instagram.
Yeah. Oh, you don't have an OnlyFans?
On Instagram,
No.
are you really talking
Been
about?
interesting.
Onlyfans.com?
Yeah, that's it. michaelplumstead.com. Yeah.
Okay, I'll try to add you on there.
Okay. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a good evening.